I never thought I'd be the kind of guy who walked away from the love of his life. If you'd asked me a year ago if I could ever break her heart, I would have laughed in your face. But then it happened. Not all at once, no, that would have been easier to explain. It happened in slow motion, 1,000 little moments piling up until the weight of them all cracked the foundation we had built. Her name was Julia. And when I say she was everything to me, I mean it in that raw, stupid, cliched way you only understand when you're young and in love. We met on a cold October evening at a mutual friend's housewarming. She was standing by the window, holding a glass of red wine, laughing softly at some joke I never heard. I was drawn to her like gravity. And maybe that was the problem, I mistook gravity for permanence. We had that fast kind of start, the one people always say never lasts. Long phone calls, kisses that lasted until the sun came up, the wild rush of discovering someone's mind like it was unexplored territory. She was honest. Too honest sometimes. And I was the opposite, guarded, careful, always watching what I said. She once told me that she could see the words I wanted to say hanging in my throat like trapped birds. I didn't know what she meant back then. 6 months in, we moved in together. It was fast, but it felt right. We found this small apartment near the city, with creaky floors and a leaky faucet and a cat that belonged to nobody but visited every night. That place saw the best and worst of us. It saw her dancing in oversized shirts while she made breakfast. It saw me screaming into my pillow the night I lost my job and didn't know how to tell her. We began to argue. It started small, dishes, late replies, me forgetting to call when I'd be home late. But they weren't really about those things. They were about the space growing between us that neither of us wanted to name. I didn't know how to communicate. She did, too well. She'd tell me, I don't feel seen by you anymore. And I'd nod like I understood, even though I didn't know how I was supposed to see someone any more clearly than I already did. Then came the night everything cracked. We were out at dinner. She had spent the whole day preparing for a big pitch at work, and I had promised to be there with her after. But I had forgotten. I genuinely forgot. I showed up at the restaurant 20 minutes late, still on a call with a client, distracted, not even noticing she hadn't touched her food. She looked up at me, eyes empty, and said, "You didn't even ask how it went." And I didn't. I was so wrapped up in my own stress, my own need to prove something to the world, that I hadn't realized the person who mattered most was slipping through my fingers. That night, when we got home, she packed a bag. I watched her from the couch, too stunned to move. "I can't do this anymore," she said. "I feel like I'm trying to hold onto something that doesn't want to be held." I said nothing. That was the moment I lost her. Days turned into weeks. The apartment felt like a tomb. I would hear her laugh in the echoes of the hallways. I would open the fridge and find that jar of apricot jam she liked, untouched, mocking me. I stopped sleeping. I stopped caring about work. I stopped being me. Friends tried to reach out, but I didn't know how to talk without talking about her. I started writing letters I never sent. I'd sit by the window, pen in hand, trying to make sense of everything. One night, I wrote, "I didn't know how to love you the way you needed, but I never stopped loving you." I burned that one. A month later, I saw her again. It was at the same cafe we used to go to on Sundays. She was alone, reading, with her hair tied up in a way that made my chest ache. I almost turned around. But she looked up and saw me. Our eyes met, and something shifted. We didn't talk then. Just nodded. But something in that look haunted me. I reached out a week later. Texted her something simple. "Would you want to talk sometime?" She replied, "I don't know what good talking will do." Still, we met. The first conversation was hard. She looked stronger, more sure of herself. I looked like hell, probably because I was living in it. We talked about surface stuff at first, jobs, mutual friends. Then silence. She said, "Why now?" I said, "Because I didn't understand then. But I do now. And I don't want to be the guy who only realizes what he had when it's gone." She didn't say anything for a long time. Then she whispered, "You broke me." I cried that night. The kind of crying you do when you realize you're the villain in someone's story, and the worst part is, they were the only person who ever believed in you. We started talking more. Coffee, walks, long calls into the night. No promises. No pressure. Just us. But slower, more careful. She asked hard questions. I answered them. I told her about my fears, of inadequacy, of being abandoned, of becoming my father. She told me about her loneliness, how it clawed at her in the dark, how she almost moved cities just to forget me. There was a night, weeks into this fragile new rhythm, when we were sitting on a park bench at midnight. I told her, I don't want to fix the past. I just want to build something better from the pieces. She looked at me and said, then start building. And I did. It wasn't magic. It was therapy. It was books. It was admitting I didn't have it all figured out. It was listening more than talking. It was showing up, on time, every time. It was remembering the little things. Her favorite song when she's sad. The way she likes her tea. The exact smile she gives when she's pretending to be fine but isn't. And one evening, about 4 months after that park bench conversation, I asked her if she'd come back home. She paused. Then she said, it's not home if we go back to what we had. But if it's something new, I'll think about it. She moved back 2 weeks later. And this time, we didn't move fast. We didn't pretend things hadn't broken. We built new routines, new habits. We fought, but differently. We listened. We forgave. We chose each other again. Every day. It's been a year since we got back together. I still mess up. She still calls me out. But now, we fight for each other, not against. And some nights, when she's asleep beside me, I whisper thank you into the dark. Not because I got her back, but because I finally learned how to hold what I love without crushing it. Thank you for watching. To see more stories like this, subscribe to the channel.